Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world, wherever you happen to be tuning in from. I'm sending you some greetings and some salutations. Thank you for being here and giving me your time, your energy, and your attention. My name is Reverend Phoenix Calvin Williams, and I am the first priest of the Corellian tradition. And I am coming back with another little discussion, little ditty about fortifying your relationship with your higher self. I'm highlighting this particular Corellian practice because it is one of the most foundational practices in our tradition. You don't need an initiation to practice it. And fortifying this relationship, even aside from any other spirit guides or patrons that you might be working with, or any demons that might be attracted to you for your aura or your spirit or whatever it is, you don't need an initiation to fortify your relationship with your higher self, and it will benefit you immensely as far as your magic and your psychism and understanding, the different things as they occur in your life and how they impact your karmic attachments and how they impact the way you move through your life. I have also mentioned in other segments that paying attention to your higher self altar is also a great way to attend to your own confidence and your own self esteem and your own wellness. Because the practices that occur here, should you participate in them on a regular basis, they incorporate the breathing that is necessary to hone your nervous system and help you downshift out of fight and flight mode into rest and digest mode. And that's just the breathing activities that we do just to get into a meditative state. They induce healing on that level. But also using your higher self alter and using your relationship to your higher self as a way of helping you stay accountable to your goals, helping you stay accountable to your responsibilities and to your commitments is also going to do a lot to help you recognize your own innate power, authority, and efficacy. That's why I'm highlighting the practice of a regular higher self routine. And you can incorporate that into anything that you do regularly. You don't have to have an altar set up to your higher self, although you see that I do have one right here. You can establish and acknowledge and draw upon the energy of this connection to your higher self wherever you are. You can do it while you are still in bed. You can do it while you walk to the bathroom to brush your teeth or take a shower. You can do it while you walk to get your first cup of coffee. You can do it when you are putting on your socks and your pants. You can do it when you are on your come to work or whatever your first responsibility of the day is. It doesn't have to be at an altar. The reason why everyone can, and I'm encouraging everyone to participate in a connection with their own higher self, is because everyone has one. You have it just because you were born, and it is literally acknowledging and using a relationship that only has your best interest at heart. Your higher self does not have an agenda outside of you. The other spirits that we work with do. That goes the same for our ancestors, for our master healers, our master teachers, our diviners. They're all doing these things for us because they have an agenda as well. The only agenda our higher self has is us. I've been using the same or similar prayers every time. As an example, you can use the same prayer every time, but or you can do a different prayer, whatever you see fit. But I do recommend using the same concept every single time. I invoke you, O higher self, set aside the veil so that we are united and complete. I acknowledge my soul's first, and I accept them in this. The prayer changes a little bit. Sometimes I will acknowledge the help of ancestors. Sometimes I will acknowledge the help of saints. For the past couple of times, I've been acknowledging the help of Ma'at, literally the goddess of harmony, justice, truth, and balance throughout the entire cosmos. But that is me acknowledging and accepting the connection of my higher self, the power that comes with it, and me acknowledging that, like, I have to be pretty decent about it. I have to be pretty decent about the way that I wield my soul's power day in and day out, because that's how you make karmic chains either appear or disappear with the actions that you use your soul's power for. And especially being conscious that your soul has power, once you become aware of that, you become all the more responsible for your actions. So, right there is the discussion of actively generating karma and passively generating karma. Actively working to diminish or dismantle or unbind yourself or unchain yourself from your karma, and passively doing it. So, like, random acts of kindness, doing things for the sake of doing good are ways of passively working on your karma. And then understanding magic, taking a look at your past lives, healing, and making sure that you don't make the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again is actively working on your karma. And you can actively work on your karma by fortifying your relationship with your higher self and using your soul's power on purpose. I did not expect to go into that direction today, but there we have it. And calling upon the goddess Ma'at and using that name in the prayer to the higher self is me also calibrating myself with the pantheon that my patron comes from, which is the Kemetic tradition, which is Egypt. Of course, any cleansings that you want to do can happen now. If you are the Florida water type, then Florida water. If you are lustral water, as might be the water of choice for Corellians, then your lustral water cleansing can happen now. And you can cleanse yourself in the name of your higher self. And if you feel so called, if you are working toward an initiation, maybe you might call out and recognize any of the things that you have done since the last time you've done your devotion. Anything that you've done that maybe might represent a misstep or a mistake or something that you might have been able to do better. That's a shadow work component. And it is absolutely essential that you recognize day in and day out where you could have been a little bit better, where you could have been a little bit more patient, where you could have been a little bit more open-minded and open-hearted, where you could have been a little bit more silent, where maybe you could have spoken up a little bit more, how you could have used your soul's power a little bit more effectively the day before. All of it is appropriate to acknowledge and pull out of the shadow. And once it's out there, you can just go ahead and cleanse yourself. Make an acknowledgement for the rest of the day that it's going to be a different day and that you are actively going to recognize where you can be more effective. We do this without judging ourselves because our higher selves literally only have our best intentions in mind. So they are glad to get rid of and help us acknowledge the things that make us not our best possible self. And us acknowledging it before the world does it for us is a great thing. After you've cleansed yourself, maybe you might want to go through a charging activity. In some of the previous episodes, we've gone through each chakra one by one and acknowledged them and charged them and cleansed them and affirmed them and used that to formulate our shield for the day. And so that is something something that can happen. But I would talk about attracting luck, specifically good luck. And by suggesting that good luck is likely the same thing as good karma. A blessing could happen if we are lucky. They're the same things that we would love to see happen if we are blessed. The same things that we would love to see happen if we are anointed. So, about a blessing or an anointing on your life. If you want to attract it, just recognize that you are attracting all of the stuff that you want, that goes with luck, that goes with a blessing, that goes with an anointing, but it also goes with the things that are attached to it that you don't necessarily see. Because everything has a shadow component, even luck, even a blessing, even an anointing. Because in accepting such divine grace, you do have to maintain it, and you do have to maintain it with your life. Luck is more than just hit the jackpot. Hitting the jackpot because of luck is a reward for using your life the right way. And we might not be able to recognize that when we see other people hitting it the way that we want to hit it. Our shadow might take over and be like, how do they deserve it and not me? Well, ask the universe and find out. Or you could put the attention back on yourself. You can work on attracting the luck and the blessing that is meant for you and your life. And this is something that you can determine with your higher self. Higher self revealed to me the luck, the blessing, the anointing that is placed on my life and help me live in accordance with it. So that the pleasures and the joys of a life well lived are mine. Attract your luck, attract your blessing, attract your anointing, but also remember, or rather, and also remember, to ask your higher self to reveal all of the things that make you continually worthy of the luck, of the blessing, of the anointing. You can do this with your tarot deck, you can do it with your coins, you can do it with your mediumship skills, you can do it with your bibliomancy, but either way, you want the luck, what you got to do to maintain it. And you can do that with your relationship with your higher self, because once your higher self reveals it to you, this is how you achieve your lot in life and how you live it completely and fully. Once it's revealed to you, your higher self now is going to help you be able to maintain it. When it comes to your relationship to your higher self and manifesting in your life, your higher self is not the voice that hurts you inside when you look like, it's not your automatic negative thoughts. It's not the voice that's telling you to, bleed and sweat and cry until you are literally exhausted and have no more interest in your life. Like, that's not the voice of your higher self. Just so you know, like, if you're doing any of this mediumship stuff and you are listening and you're trying to manifest your life and a whole bunch of automatic negative thoughts flood in, that's not the voice of your higher self. That's actually something different, and it is related to the collective unconscious. Your higher self will give you functional advice. Your higher self will help you resolve problems and help you resolve conflicts with acceptance, and by helping you to control what is within. your power to control, you need to support your higher personality. And so you can ask your higher self, reveal my anointing to me and what I have to do to maintain it. Once you have been granted your luck, once you have been granted your blessing, once you have been granted anointing, once it is revealed to you, you are responsible for it and it's taken away. Now, there are some magical traditions that believe that your luck or your blessing or your anointing can be stolen from you. Wicked sorcerers to a jinn in a lamp, someone who works with trickier demonic energies. They might believe that they can, steal the luck or steal the blessing or steal the anointing of somebody else and use it to support their life or support what they want to manifest or, help them have what it is they are looking for out of life. And so if you live in a reality where your blessing, your divine birthright can be stolen from a wicked witch or a wicked wizard or a wicked what have you, then you need to make sure all the more that you fortify yourself and keep your connection alive so that it doesn't become at risk. So you honor your anointing, you honor your blessing, you honor your luck as often and as frequently as possible so that there's no risk of it ever going away, either because you're not using it appropriately, so you lost it, or because you believe that someone could steal it from you. If you don't live in a world where your luck can be stolen, if you don't live in a reality where your luck can be stolen, then recognize that the connection or the acknowledgement or the amount of attention that you pay to your luck, to your blessing, to your anointing, that has a direct impact on how you experience it. It becomes use it or lose it. It becomes nurture it or watch it flop, like a plant that you really, really want to see flower and become all it could be. You got to attend to it as often and as frequently as it requires. Otherwise, it's not going to be all it can be. And all of that happens here at your ancestor altar. I pray for my life's blessing to be upon me. I pray for luck to open up before me. I pray that I am able and willing to use all of the opportunities that my blessing and my anointing brings. And I pledge to return to my higher self to continually fortify this connection so that it serves me well. So let it be. You can do this with any number of candles. I did talk earlier on about this yellow candle and how when you put that candle on your altar, the color impacts the vibration of all of the prayers. The yellow is the pleasure and the success. So all of my prayers, no matter what they are for, whether it's peace, whether it's abundance, whether it's luck, whether it's return to sender, is all going to be mixed with that energy of the yellow candle, of that pleasure, that happiness, that success. That's really it for today. I hope you found this helpful and I hope it motivates you to explore your relationship to your own higher self, even as you continue to think about whether or not you want to move towards initiation, if you want to move towards like the inner court and the clergyhood. Definitely contemplate your relationship to your higher self. Even as you contemplate any relationships to guides or patrons. Because the higher self is going to be the one that comes through time and time and time and time and time again, even if any of the other spirits with personalities might get frustrated with you or might get annoyed with you or might become disappointed if you use your free will Yourself is not ever like that. It's always for you. Again, hopefully you found that helpful. I will do this at least one more time. If it is one more time this week, it'll probably be on Friday. But if it's more than one time this week, then you'll just have to be surprised. But either way, thank you so much for being here. If you want to continue to learn more about the higher self, the lessons that initiation, you can go ahead and check out the Traditions Summit. That is www.witchschool.com. Again, that is www.witchschool.com. If you want to learn more about either deepening your practice with magic and your magical spirituality, or if you think you might be interested in initiation. So thank you so much, and until next time, blessed be.